I'd like to introduce your high school government teacher who's running for the lights by the name of Randy Bishop. He's going to give you some more information. Randy, you're up. I didn't think you needed a mic. You talk so long.
Welcome, boys and girls. Congratulations on making it to your senior year in high school. I'm going to be your government and politics reality teacher for the next 15 minutes. The information I'm going to share with you, Eric, are we ready to show the screen? You let me know. Get out your pieces of paper and pencil. You are required to take notes, and you will be checked on the exiting of this building. As your senior government and politics reality teacher, you are 17 years old. You just made it into your senior year of high school. And the information I'm going to share with you right now, your parents and your grandparents have not told you, nor has the news and media. And a lot of this has appeared on your social media, but you weren't aware of it. This is a $100 bill. Go ahead and start the video. A strap of $100 bills is $10,000. A stack of those straps is $1 million. A pallet is roughly $46 million, plus this couch is $100 million. On a flatbed semi-trailer is $2 billion. And ask yourself this question, boys and girls, how much is a trillion? It is a football field, end zone to end zone, sideline to sideline of pallets, 4.5 feet tall, $100 bills strapped together, is $1 trillion. How many of you know the Statue of Liberty? Raise your hand. The Statue of Liberty, surrounded by columns of $1 trillion, is represented in this portion of the video. Stop the video. Pause the video. All of the presidents from George Washington to George W. Bush overspent the government's budget by $10.6 trillion. Since Barack Hussein Obama, boys and girls, has been the president, January 20th of 2009, we are now, as of this past week, at 17 trillion. Go ahead and start the video. These columns represent where we are right now, and when he leaves office, January 20th of 2017, this will be completely closed in. $20 trillion just in federal spending deficit. Completely closed in. You're graduating next year. You'll be 18. You'll be able to get involved and do something about this. Pause the video. One thing I want you to understand, boys and girls, this $20 trillion just represents the spending by our government that your parents and your grandparents elected politicians to go to Washington and do this to you, to do this to your future. And guess what? This is just the federal spending. Your grandparents and your parents paid into Social Security and Medicare. How many of you students have heard the name Bernie Madoff? What did he go to jail for? Ponzi scheme. FDR created a Ponzi scheme called Social Security and Medicare, And your parents and your grandparents and maybe even some of your great-grandparents paid into it. And it was a promise to pay into the future their medical bills and their Social Security retirement. This closed-in box of $20 trillion is $120 trillion. It's 6 of these that you're responsible in paying back because your parents and grandparents elected those politicians that did this to your future. Finish the video. I want you to download this onto your cell phone, and I want you guys to share this to all your buddies, cheerleaders, football players, and every time you get together at a young person's event, I want you to share this on your iPhone or on your iPad. Next video. You need to plug in your laptop. Yeah. Okay, stop it at the 6-minute and 40-second mark, Eric. While we're queuing up. Actually, play this little bit right here. Hit that yellow play button. It's going to load. This is an authorized copy. I have gotten permission from the publisher to show it to you. Waiting for this to load up. There's something that has occurred in the last 50 years that you kids might not be aware of. It's happened to you automatically without you knowing about it because your parents and grandparents weren't even aware that it was happening. America is like a healthy body, and its resistance is threefold. It's patriotism, it's morality, and it's spiritual life. And when we can underline these 3 areas, America will collapse from within. Joseph Stalin. Go to the 6-minute and 40-second mark. Just go ahead and click on the bar. 6:40. Go. Pause right there. The gentleman you're about to see in this movie is Curtis Bowers. He ran for the State House in Idaho. He made this movie, and I've talked to him. We've had him on our radio show. He gave me permission to show this in public without copyright infringement. You kids are not aware of the fact that you've been manipulated. And I'm about to tell you the truth that your parents and your grandparents haven't told you. I want you to take out a piece of paper and pencil, and I want you to take notes. And I want you to see why, from a book from 1958, the year I was born, called The Naked Communist, what has occurred to this country. Go ahead and play the video, please.
This story really begins for me back in the summer of 1992. I got a phone call from an older gentleman I knew who was a writer. And he asked me if I'd go attend a meeting for him at the University of California, Berkeley. He told me that the Communist Party USA had recently split over differences of how to best take America down. Some were wanting to still work toward a violent revolution, while others were wanting to focus their efforts on using public policy to subvert America from the inside. He was curious what they had to say. I mean, after all, the Berlin Wall had just come down, the Soviet Union had dissolved, and the whole world was saying communism is dead. So why were they meeting, and what were they up to? I was in graduate school at the time, and the whole idea of slipping in undercover to a communist meeting sounded pretty neat, so I decided to go. The first surprise I had was when I walked into the auditorium. I was expecting it to be filled with college radicals, but instead it was 50, 60, and 70-year-olds, grandparents, professionally dressed with briefcases, and I realized this might be a little more serious than I thought. As the weekend unfolded, I listened carefully as they outlined their plan and agenda, and how they were going to infiltrate the institutions of America to influence us in the direction they wanted us to go. To destroy our families, they wanted to promote cohabitation instead of marriage. They wanted to try to get children away to government programs at the earliest age possible. And they also said they'd like to get behind the feminist movement because they felt it had been very successful in making women discontent with marriage and motherhood. To destroy business, they wanted to get behind the environmental movement. And in 1992, the environmental movement was very modest, but they thought it was the only vehicle capable of creating enough regulation and red tape to discourage business growth. And finally, to destroy our culture of religion and morality, they said, if we can get Americans to accept homosexuality, they thought it would begin to extinguish our traditional moral values Americans held. I remember thinking at the time, this plan doesn't seem very realistic. It's not something I'll need to worry about in my lifetime.
That was 1992.
It was 15 years later, I was appointed by the governor to be a state representative in the legislature. I'd only lived in my district for 2 years, so I thought it'd be a good idea if I wrote a monthly letter to the editor. Each month I wrote on a different topic. In January 2008, as I was contemplating what to write my letter on, I thought back to the meeting in 1992, and I thought of the goals they'd outlined and where America was today, and I couldn't believe how successful they had been. I mean, our families were totally disintegrating. The environmental movement had become the most powerful force for destroying our free markets, and hate crimes legislation was being considered in Washington, D.C. that made it a crime to even say anything against the homosexual movement. I realized people needed to know what was going on. After I wrote this letter, within days, people were protesting at the Capitol. It was a feature story on the evening news.
Controversial comments have state legislators buzzing tonight.
After a freshman lawmaker alleges the communist agenda has infiltrated mainstream America. It's the big story, live at 6.
And over 40 letters to the editor had been printed in response to what I'd said.
Today I just wanted to give you support on your newspaper article. Don't let them grind you down. Fight.
I realized then I hit on something. One of the letters written in my defense stated that a book from 1958 had outlined a similar agenda. And this got my attention. The book was The Naked Communist by Cleon Skousen, who had been a former FBI agent. And inside the book, it documented 45 current communist goals from 1958. And as I slowly read through the list, seeing how specific their agenda had been to subvert us on the inside, I couldn't believe it.
Number 28, eliminate prayer in schools on the grounds that it violates the principle of separation of church and state. Number 40, discredit the family as an institution, encourage promiscuity and easy divorce. Number 17, get control of the schools, use them as transmission belts for socialism. Soften the curriculum, get control of teachers' associations. Number 24, eliminate all laws governing obscenity by calling them censorship and a violation of free speech and free press. Number 25, break down cultural standards of morality, promoting pornography in books, magazines, motion pictures, and TV. Number 26, present homosexuality, degeneracy, and promiscuity as normal, natural, and healthy. 20 and 21, infiltrate the press, gain control of key positions in radio, TV, and motion pictures. Number 27, infiltrate the churches and replace revealed religion with quote-unquote social religion and discredit the Bible. These were some of their goals in that book. The year I was born, 1958. Go ahead and play it at normal speed. I thought you slowed it down so I could read it.
Past 50 years, they've been working actively behind the scenes, in the shadows, trying to move our people and our culture in a direction that was designed to destroy us.
Birds are flying to the left. Council, stop. Boys and girls, I'm begging you, I'm pleading with you to understand that this was the truth. Contrary to what your parents or grandparents may have told you or allowed you to believe, don't blame them. They did the best job they could as your parents and grandparents to raise you. They did not even know this was happening in their country. I challenge you as high school seniors, and some of you who next year will be freshmen in college, to reach out to your local Tea Party group in your county. Google them, Twitter search, Facebook search, and find them in your county. And ask them, Facebook page, to organize for you a group of young conservatives for your county. Not being a high school teacher in the evenings and weekends, I go around and speak and make presentations to Tea Party groups. It's on Facebook. Just use Antrim County Young Conservatives. And what I will do is ask them to pay $500 to sponsor a group to get set up in your county. That $500 will get you a Facebook page, like this one. Close that, right there. And this template will be set up in every single county in the entire state of Michigan. All 83 counties will be organized with groups. I will ask you guys to step up and be a chairman, a vice chairman, a secretary, and a treasurer of your each county group. We will give you money to open a checking account in your county Young Conservatives group. We will hold a pizza and soda party, not pop, because a lot of you think pot, and that's not what we're going to do. It will be soda and pizza, and I will come and speak to as many young people that you can get to that meeting. Because we have a mission for you guys. We need you to get involved here in high school and freshman in college and learn about politics and how it works. You'll be taught how to become a precinct delegate in a party that you choose after you feel whether the Republican or the Democrat party represents your best interest and what you're mostly aligned with. You'll vet candidates that are running for state office in your county, both the Democrat and Republican. You'll hold debates. You'll ask them very hard questions, because I'll help you with the questions. And then you'll decide who you guys want to support in 2014. We also will have a ballot initiative that we need to collect signatures on. You kids will be out there helping us collect 360,000 signatures to put part-time legislature on the ballot. There's other things that we will be talking about. But reach out to your local Tea Party group and ask them to invest $500 in your county to get this Facebook page, a Twitter account, money in a checking account, and a pizza and soda party organized in your county. And we will help you grow your county. We're looking for 12 to 15,000 of you across the whole state of Michigan to help us get our people elected, become a part-time legislature, and if the unions try to repeal right to work, I've got a commitment from Mark Mix, the president of National Right to Work in Virginia. He will provide you kids with all the handouts you need to go door to door to make sure we keep right to work for you. Tell your parents what you're doing. If they have any questions, tell them to email me at youngconservatives.of.michigan, all spelled out, one word, you kids know that, at gmail.com. You're dismissed.